Welcome on into the All Aussie Rules YouTube channel. We've got another season review coming up today. As each team has been eliminated, we've done a season review on that club. We're down to the second last. It's the Geelong Cats 2025 season review. We're going to go through all the stats, all the numbers, everything you need to know about the Geelong Cats season 2025. Before we jump into all that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the noti bell so you don't miss any drops. Like this video if you enjoy it, and let me know what you thought of Geelong Cats 2025 season in the comments below. If you're new around here, plenty of content all over the internet, mainly on YouTube, but also on all the social medias, All Aussie Rules everywhere. Go check it out. We do a couple podcasts every single week, so go check them out as well. Let's jump into it. Geelong Cats 2025. 23 games in the home and away season. They went 17-6 with a very healthy percentage, finishing second on the ladder at the end of the home and away season. They played 3 finals, winning the first 2, losing the last one, which ends them at second on the overall ratings for the season. We'll go into a match-by-match analysis shortly. Points for almost 105 points per game, second most in the competition. 76.7 points against, which is the 4th best defensively. So really good point differential. No surprise when their percentage is 141.5 for the season. 31 players used. Least amount of players used in the competition in season 2025 were Geelong by quite a while. I think the next least was 34 or something. So they did have quite a good run with injuries and such. 2 debutants, which is the equal 15th most. Average age of almost 27, second oldest, behind Collingwood. Average experience of 120.56, which is the 3rd most experienced team behind Collingwood and Brisbane, I believe. Record against the top 9 for the season, 8 wins, 5 losses. Those 5 losses, 3 of them were against Brisbane and 2 against GWS. No one else in the top 9 beat them throughout the season, so that's a bit of a crazy little stat there for you. And record against the bottom 9, was 11 wins, 2 losses. Those 2 losses were St Kilda in round 2 and Carlton in round 7. Other than that, they were perfect against the bottom 9 teams. Game by game, this is how their season went. It started absolutely on fire in round 1. Hosting Fremantle, they beat them by 78 points down at HBA Stadium. Absolutely smacked them. Round 2, they played St Kilda at Marvel Stadium and lost by 7 points. They looked down and out in that game most of the way through, but they ended up fighting their way back into it, but just fell short. They then had the rescheduled Brisbane game from opening round that was rained out. They played Brisbane in the Gabba and lost by 9 points. Then they turned it around after back-to-back losses by beating Melbourne, Adelaide and Hawthorn, so a couple top 9 teams there across a 3-week stretch. That Adelaide game was a really good win. They were down by about 6 goals at one point, I think. 5 or 6 goals maybe. Maybe it was only 4. But they were certainly down in the first half, turned it around in gather round, then beat Hawthorn. Lost to Carlton by 18 points. Beat Collingwood by 3 points in one of the best games of the season. Lost to the Giants by 4 points down at the Cattery. Then went on a little bit of a run, beating Port Adelaide, Bulldogs, West Coast, Gold Coast, and Essendon by 95 points there. Lost to Brisbane going into the bye. That one down at HBA Stadium when they kicked absolutely terribly the Cats in front of goal, which is a little bit against their norm. They're one of the more accurate teams, 5th best accuracy in the competition this season. Came out of the bye, beat Richmond by 72, then lost to the Giants for the second time, this time by 26 points, before finishing out their season against all bottom 9 teams. St Kilda, North Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Essendon, Sydney and Richmond in the final round. All pretty comfortable wins and a good little run into the finals in terms of winning games and getting themselves up to second on the AFL ladder going into finals. Meant they got a host Brisbane at the MCG in a qualifying final, which they quite comfortably won by 38 points. Put them through to a home prelim against Hawthorn at the MCG again. They won by 30 points, went to the grand final, and for the third time in season 2025, they lose to Brisbane, this time by 47 points. So a bit of a crazy sort of season for them. Not many teams beat them this year. There was only 4 teams that did. Brisbane 3 times, GWS twice, Carlton and St Kilda once each. But most importantly, they did not win the premiership, which is what they were after, let's be fair. A look at some of the stats. We're not going to go through all of this. There's obviously a lot of information there. We're just going to go through some of the highlights, some of the more important stuff. Anything that stands out, I guess. Massively kick percentage team, so second most in the competition. Them and Brisbane were both very high on this list of kick percentage, over 60% of the time. Not massive disposal team. Obviously, they do kick it second most, but their handballs are down at 17. 12th overall in disposals. Inside 50s, 4th best for, 7th best against, so 3rd overall in difference. Contested football, pretty solid. +4 per game, or more than +4. Uncontested, they get beaten in that most of the time. That's not their game. That's fine with them. That's how they play. Intercept game, really good. Mostly defensively, they're really, really good defensively. They don't turn the ball over all that much. In fact, the least amount in the competition at under 60 per game, plus almost 5 intercepts per game. And we'll get to scoring from turnover shortly, but spoiler alert, it's really, really good. Centre clearances, really solid. Stoppage clearances, not so much. High mark team, same as Brisbane. Both teams that made the grand final are high marks. I think number 1 and 2 in the competition. Obviously, scoring wise, they're up there. Accuracy, 5th best for, only 13th best against. So net positive there, but accuracy, at least 4 is certainly good. Shots per inside 50, number 1 in the competition by a decent margin, really. Tackles, right up there, second in the comp. Tackles inside 50, number 1. Jumping down to those bottom 6 rows, it's the scoring sources and the scoring origin. Score sources, they're solid across the board. 5th best from kick-ins, number 2 from stoppage, which is pretty good when you consider overall total clearances. They're 10th in the competition, but they score better than expected from stoppage at number 2, plus almost 10 points per game. And scoring from turnover, number 1 in the game. When they're winning games of football, this is how they do it. They destroy teams from the turnover. Number 1 for 5th best against, net gain of over 17 points per game. So they turn 5 extra intercepts into over 17 extra points. Just a really, really solid team at that. They were really good at it last year, and once again this year they were again. Scoring origin, defensive half. Offensively good from defensive half, but not so good defensively. Gets them a net gain of 4 points, 7th best in the competition. Forward half is their go, though. Both offensively and defensively, number 1 in the competition, gaining over 20 points per game from the forward half. That is ridiculously high numbers. Centre bounce, 4th, and 4th. Net 3.4 points per game. So, no matter which way you look at it, they had a really, really solid year. They were, 40 minutes from winning a premiership. 40 minutes to go, they were right in that game. Things obviously blew away in that grand final very quickly, but different world, different day, who knows. But overall, their season was pretty solid. Little player update. So first of all, we got players that missed at least 5 games throughout the season. Not necessarily due to form or injury or suspension, just a mix of everything. Some of them might not even have been in their best 23. It's just a list of players that I think probably would have played more than they did if all things being right. So Toby Conway in the ruck obviously did not play a game. Tanner Bruin also the same. Jake Kolajasny didn't play a game this season either, the key defender. Cam Guthrie got injured early pre-season, missed the season. Jed Buse missed 22. So there's a few players that missed a lot, but then there's not many that missed some. Like they did have a pretty relatively healthy list throughout most of the season. It was just those ones that missed basically the season. Mitch Duncan missed 17. Jai Clark, he missed 17. Jack Martin missed 13. Ollie Henry, 11. Reece Stanley missed 7. And Tom Stewart missed 6, including that grand final. Players that were on their list in 2024 that weren't in 2025, these are not the people that, okay, there are 2 delistings there, but we don't put most of the delistings. We put those 2 because they kind of aren't in the AFL anymore, but were pretty decent last year, or have been, at least in their career. Tom Hawkins retired. Zach Tui retired. Gary Rowan, I think, has ended up retiring. And Brandon Parfitt also delisted. We'll move into position by position, and we'll start in the back line as we normally do. General defenders. So this is, obviously, it's not too complicated, but matches 2025 rating is their All Aussie Rules rating for 2025. Their position rank, we rate every game, rank every position. That's how we get that. 2024 is the exact same, just for last year's ratings and ranks. So first of all, Tom Stewart, rated slightly worse than last year, down from a 60, almost a 61, down to a 54.5. Still a really good season, 14th best general defender. He does play a variety of roles at times. Had a really good season. Maybe not as good as last year, but still was really good. Zach Guthrie, similar sort of story, not as much of a drop. He was good. At times had to play a little bit of key defence on people here and there throughout moments in games, but pretty solid season from him. Lawson Humphries, his rating dropped a fair bit from last year, but then his grand final was probably just about his best game of the year. So it wasn't all doom and gloom. He certainly has shown signs that he belongs in that role. 20th best last year, so he certainly can find that form again. Mark O'Connor, he only missed the one game for the season. His rating pretty similar to last year. Mitch Duncan didn't play much football this year, rated pretty much the same as last year. And Jed Buse, just the 4 games, showed okay signs in those 4 matches. Their key defenders, they really only had the 3. Obviously, some of those general defenders rotated through key positions at times, depending on who they were playing and what was needed. But Jack Henry played 21 games. He rated better than last year. He went up to 23rd best key defender in the competition this year. Sam De Koning, he's basically the same as last year, 30th up to 28. So another solid season from him, 23 matches as well. And Connor O'Sullivan, as a, second year key defender, really, really good season. Last year, he didn't get much opportunity, but he showed some really good signs this year. They've got 3 key defenders there that are all, while not in the elite or top class range, all in really solid bracket, like 23rd to 34th. So all capable of being in pretty much every team's best 3 key defenders, if not best 2 key defenders. So a solid lineup of key defenders without having that star player as a key defender. Moving on to the general forwards. This is probably like their most elite area of the ground, at least with a couple of them. 2 years in a row, both Graham Myers and Sean Manor have rated it as elite. Graham Myers 4th up to 2nd best general forward this year, and Sean Manor 2nd down to 3rd best general forward. You know what you're going to get from them. They don't hit the scoreboard hugely, but in terms of personally, but if Geelong are kicking goals, you know that these guys have been involved most of the time. They are very, very good at what they do. So another outstanding season from both of them. Tyson Stengel dropped off a little bit from 14th down to 39th this season, so not as good of a season this year. Brad Close, his accuracy waned a little bit late in the season, but he went 47 to 43rd, so pretty much identical, really. Jack Martin obviously joined the club for the first season this year, coming from Carlton, where he didn't get much opportunity last year for a variety of reasons. Showed some really solid signs throughout the back half of the year. As your 4th or 5th best general forward, pretty solid numbers. Oliver Wiltshire only played the 2 games, didn't play even 50% game time in either of them. Ted Closey, 9 matches, unranked though, because a lot of sub throughout his season. Solid numbers, not bad numbers. We'll see what that progresses to in the future. Moving to the key forwards, obviously their star attraction in that forward line, Jeremy Cameron, ended the season with 88 goals, I think, across finals and home and away season. Coleman medalist. Even though his ranking says third best key forward, that's is what it is. Obviously, some players play different roles where goals aren't the only thing they do. But he's an absolute star. He played an outstanding season, pretty much similar to last year in rating. You know what you're going to get from Jeremy Cameron most of the time. Obviously, broke his arm in the grand final, curtailed his ability, but he also doesn't have the best record against Brisbane. So it was always going to potentially be a rough day for him. Shannon Neal played 25 games, rated a lot higher than last year. He showed some really good development this year. If he develops again on that, he could well and truly be in the top 10 key forwards next year, potentially, which would be handy. Obviously, Jeremy Cameron's not done yet, but he's getting closer to the end of his career. So Shannon Neal showed some good signs. Ollie Henry is an interesting one. His form's gone. He played some good games last year. We didn't see much from him this year. He obviously played 15 games, but when he was out there, he was sub sometimes. He just wasn't showing the ability that Geelong brought him across from Collingwood for. So a little bit of a rough season for him. We'll see what happens with him going forward. Moving into the midfield. Their highest rated midfielder didn't even play last year. Obviously, was on the Bulldogs list, recovering from an ACL injury. Came out and racked up disposals throughout this season. 6th highest inside mid rated player this year at a 72.4. By far his career best season. A fantastic year from him. His disposal needs a bit of work at times, but overall, I mean, he wins a lot of football. Maxi Holmes, he's a game breaker. Last year, he was basically split dead down the middle between general defender and inside mid. This year, he was pretty much full-time inside mid, and his rating benefited from it. 70.6, ninth best inside mid in the competition. Really, really good season from him. He did win the Cats best and fairest, a fantastic season. He was their best player in the grand final. So he's still only like 23-ish, somewhere around there. So potentially got even more development in him. So we'll see what that curtails. But an interesting few years ahead for Maxi Holmes. He could take off as one of the best in the game. Tom Atkins played 26 games. You know what you're going to get from him. He was even better this year than last year. He's that defensive mid. He tackles hard. There's never an easy ball around Tom Atkins, and he had a really, really good season this year. Paddy Dangerfield rotated through midfield and forward line this season. In fact, going into the final game, he was still rated as a forward, but was played enough inside mid time in that last game to rate him as an inside mid, which kind of hurt his overall rank, not his rating, obviously. But he was slightly down on last year. He was absolutely exceptional in that prelim final. Showed that he's still got good football in him. But his grand final was a big drop-off. It wasn't a great game from him. Austin Mullen plays a lot of roles, sometimes general defender, sometimes a lockdown. He's their go-to lockdown player, whether it's a midfielder or a defender, forward or wherever on the ground. They want to shut someone down, they send Austin Mullen to them, and he does a really good job most of the time. So his rating suggests that he's lowly rated player, but that's solely because he's there to stop the opposition players. He's not there to win football and make things happen offensively. George Stevens played just the 2 games. His rating looks really good, but obviously just 2 matches. Mitch Nevitt, 7 games. Okay rating, slightly better than last year. On to the outside midfielders, we got Ollie Dempsey first of all. Fantastic season from him. Obviously the rising star in 2024. Took another leap this year. Improved again. So a good future ahead, you'd think, for Ollie Dempsey. It can be tough sometimes once you've won the Rising Star to take another level the next year. But he's done it really well here. Gone up another 4 points. Kicked 4 goals in the grand final. Granted, 3 of them were in the last quarter. But I think we'll see a lot more from him over the next couple of years. Potentially develop into the best. If he stays as an outside mid, then potentially develop into the best outside mid in the game. Jack Bowes had a good year. Obviously, last year was more inside mid. This year was outside mid. It's harder to get good ratings outside mid than inside mid. It's just the way it is. But a solid season from him. 13th best. Jai Clark, another that played more outside this year than last year. His rating similar to last year. He's probably, where he is as a depth player more than your starting position player. But he'll get games. He plays his role when he's needed. Moving into the rucks, Blixarves didn't play just ruck, so his rating as a ruck is kind of not accurate in some senses because he does play sometimes key defence, sometimes he plays forward, sometimes he plays on the wing, sometimes he just plays midfield. You just never really know where he's going to play. They play him where they need him. He was really good as a ruck in a prelim final. 16th highest rated in the game for the year. I think just comparing him year on year, his rating this year was better than last year, which is crazy for someone that's heading towards the twilight of their career. He's been around for a while now, but you know what you're going to get. He'll absolutely play his role in whatever role that is that they require on the day. And he's very, very good at it. Reece Stanley played 19 games throughout the year. His rating's slightly better than last year. It's been a point of much conjecture, I guess, over recent seasons. Is this Geelong ruck role? They don't have a great ruckman. Obviously, Toby Conway in the wings, who didn't play this year. Reece Stanley as a 21st best ruckman. It's probably like their biggest hole in their team at the moment is that ruck role. And from all reports, they're going after a seasoned veteran ruckman in the trade window this year. So we'll see if they pick that up. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out because a good ruckman with this midfield already certainly will be interesting to see how that plays out. Moving into a little position summary. So once we've done all our ratings and our ranks, we do a little class system for each player. So top 10% of each position is rated as elite, then down to 25% is top class, to 40% is above average, 60% is average, and then everyone below 60% is below average. The unranked players, are the players that did not play at least 5 games of 50% game time or more. So there's obviously 6 of them for Geelong. 5 elite players is quite high for a team. Obviously, 2 general forwards, 2 inside mids, and a key forward. So forward of the ball offensively, that looks really good. Maybe need a little bit of work in their back line, especially the general defenders maybe. Top class, just 1 general defender, 2 outside mids. Above average, 4 players, key defender, general forward, key forward and inside mid. And then average, pretty solid there, 2 general defenders, 2 key defenders, 2 general forwards, and a ruck. So they've got a good variety of players, 5 elite, 8 in top class or above, 12 in above average or better, and 19 that are in the top 60% of their positions, which is really quite high across the league standards. I think what they really would have liked, obviously they played a lot less players than a lot of other clubs, so they have slightly less ranked players overall, but I think if they could move a couple of those averages in the defensive half up into the above average or top class, that would really make a massive difference. I mean, they're not that far off a premiership this season. They won a premiership 3 years ago. The team has changed a fair bit from that day, but they've still got some really good numbers across the field, let's be honest. A little look at our best and fairest for Geelong. This is not how the actual best and fairest is or was. Obviously, we mentioned before Max Holmes did win their official BNF. This goes by our rating system each week. top 5 highest rated players get votes for every single game. If the team wins, you get 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2 for those top 5 players. And if the team loses, you get 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 votes. Starting with Bailey Smith, he finished on top, 126 votes. He racked up a lot of disposals this year. He's number 1. Maxi Holmes, number 2. Obviously, he did win Geelong's 111. Jeremy Cameron, unlucky not to be a bit higher, kicked 88 goals, gets 68 votes. Graham Myers is always up there. When Geelong are playing good, he is playing good. 57 votes. Tom Atkins, 51. A really good season from him. Paddy Dangerfield, 36. Sean Manor, also on 36. Mark Blixarves, the man of many talents, 34. Ollie Dempsey on the wing, 30. Shannon Neal in his best season yet, 28. Tom Stewart, 25. Obviously, a bit of a down year from him, but I would expect that we'll see him bounce fully back next year. Zach Guthrie, 16. Jack Bowes, 10. Mark O'Connor, 10. Jack Henry, 8. Lawson Humphries, 8. And Sam De Koning, 8 votes. Rounds out your top 15. So, Geelong fall just short. 2 years in a row, Brisbane have knocked them out. Last year was a prelim final in one of the better prelim finals I've ever watched. This year in the grand final. So they're just falling short. Geelong 2 years in a row. It's been a story of them for the last probably 15 years, really. Yeah, they have a couple premierships in there, obviously 2011, 2022, and then 07 and 09 as well. They've been very consistent at making prelims, making grand finals, making deep runs. Probably don't have as many premierships as a team that has made as many prelim finals as they have over the last 15 years as they would like. But at the end of the day, they're giving it a shake every year just about. They've had, I think, 2 years that they've missed finals since Chris Scott has been at the helm. So they are very reliable. You know what you're going to get from Geelong. And that's a really competitive season. We got that again this year. They went into a grand final as favourite. They didn't win it. That happens sometimes, but overall, it was a good season from them. Disappointing for them that they couldn't take that final step, but that is how football is sometimes. And for every hard luck story, there is a lot of good luck stories. So, yeah, that will be our final season review coming up. It will be the Brisbane Lions, which is full of good stories. So make sure you have subscribed to the channel if you haven't already and watch that one. That will be coming out later in the week, or next week coming up. 2 podcast episodes every week. We do AFLW content. We do AFL men's content. We do everything football related here. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Go check out the social medias, All Aussie Rules everywhere. My name is Jay. This is the Geelong 2025 season review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you did or didn't. And I'll catch you on the next one.